Ding, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And hello, fellows. Herogon here. Today is Thursday, January 26th of 2023. It is now 7:12 p.m. Eastern Time. And so far, college has been decent enough for me. I'm still trying to go through the usual old homeworks and try to have them prepared before all their due dates. You know what they say, college can be quite an adventure for some. With that being out of the way, let's jump into the recent updates for the fighting game framework. Credit goes to Sean LeBro for all of his fighting game tutorials. He has been very, very helpful in my own little game development journey, trying to learn the ins and outs and a few of the ropes here and there. Now, part 156 for how to make your own fighting game involves enhanced memory and streaming, going over improving memory management, proper deletion of different objects, better level streaming functionality, and rematch and menu flow bug fixes. Because the rematch and menu flow have had a tough hand here and there. With that, let's get into the C++ side of things, which just so happened to be around the 18-minute and close to 55-second mark. Going into Xcode, we have ourselves something in the base player controller.h. We have now changed our variable of possessed pawn to uProperty, which means that you can now get and set this particular variable anywhere in the blueprint parts. Going in, we have ourselves default game mode BP, and where we do this, setting possessed pawn is in spawn players. We cast to our player start. It all depends on our player start tag being P1 or P2. If P1 is true, then we determine the character class for player 1, set character class for P1, possess, cast to base player controller, then set possessed pawn. This part here of casting to base player controller and setting the possessed pawn hadn't been done before, but it's now there. Of course, for the part of it, player 2, it's slightly different, seeing as it is player 2, and that is pretty much that for possessed pawn part. In default game mode BP itself, in our rematch part, the reset match values, which gets triggered when we do rematch, we have this new part at the end here. Get all actors of class camera edge for each loop for that array, then destroy actor of that array element target. In this case, the camera edge here. Now, the camera edge is important for our purposes because if we want to have the camera zoom in or out depending on how far we are from each other, as well as having limits for a stage, then we'll need this part here. Now with that, there is actually one smaller part, which is the main menu. The improvements here are a boolean. In this case is menu level, which comes from event load level, which is in our streaming interface. Load level here has two inputs, level name and is menu level. We didn't have is menu level before, It's a boolean, and if is menu level is true, then we remove our loading icon and load main menu. Instead of having the destroy actor of default camera around or set view target with blend right now, we have this part here. If it is menu level, we remove our loading icon UI, we load main menu in. Right here is our remove loading icon. Then, going back here, if it is menu levels condition is false, then we unload the stream level by name, main menu, and destroy actor default camera. And with that, that is pretty much the basics of, that's pretty much it for the improvements. Going into the game itself, it's a bit of a different take. Going in here, let's choose our characters, then pause. We click on rematch. Hold on. Things are still a bit of a tough time since I can't exactly use the whole deal of stuff here. It's a little frustrating since I don't have the all the stuff for here, because the main menu, the pause menu widget is a bit finicky about the gamepad or keyboard controller support. Hopefully I will get that fixed someday, but for now, it is what it is, I guess. With that out of the way, let's get to Path of Yao updates. So far, I have created an itch.io page. If anyone doesn't know about itch.io, it's a special little website where you can play all sorts of little video games, or whether they're web browser based or Mac or Linux or Windows. You could play all sorts of titles like Classic Celeste or Friday Night Funkin', lots of small stuff here and there. For my own game, Path of Yao is currently just a downloadable game. Due to Unreal Engine 5 not having much support for web browser-based games, I'm afraid you would have to download it. And with this, I actually have an Apple version prepared, Mac OS. The slightly not so good news is that when I do not have a Windows computer, so I will have to have someone else that has a Windows computer extract my my actual project itself, then package it for Windows. More info about who exactly is doing the Windows port or extracting and packaging will be coming in the next week or so. And with that, it's pretty much it for the few bits and pieces of stuff I've been doing. I hope you all look forward to Path of Yao. With all that being said, I've been Herogon, you've been you. Until we meet again, have a hero-tastic night. Goodbye, everyone.